now from Hollywood, California, the horror capital of the world, the Boulet Brothers, creatures of the night.
Welcome, Uglies, to a brand new episode of the Boulet Brothers Creatures of the Night. Now, this episode is all about the Boulet Brothers Dragula Season 6, as I know you have all been chomping at the bit to hear all the nasty little details about it, which are coming later in the episode. But there's a couple of things we have to get to first before we do that. So let's talk first about the Emmys.
Yes.
So we were at the Emmys last night, for the first time.
Kind of an incredible experience, honestly. I mean, I feel two ways about it. In the one, I'm kind of like, oh, I've been to events like this before, like the Hair and Makeup Awards. Very similar. The venue is maybe a little smaller, but the glam and sort of like the star-studded effect is absolutely there. However, with the Emmys, you had that backdrop of legitimate famous people, like a lot of celebrities in the same space, and it was pretty cool.
It was really a huge honor for us and the show to be there and to have it, them playing the videos from the show up on the screen for everybody to see and all that stuff. It did also remind me of how lucky we are to have the show and that it is as successful as it is, because so many of the shows there that are celebrated are very sort of normal, clean-cut, middle America type shows.
Oh, I mean, say that part again, because we're talking about like The Voice, Saturday Night Live, Dancing with the Stars, and these, Jim Henson docuseries. I mean, it's just so palatable. And then it's like the Boulet Brothers Dragula. And it's like, oh, the weirdo. Like forever, we are the black sheep. And I kind of, we wear that as a badge of honor.
You know what was so weird? I don't know if you caught this. There was a clip of JK that played at the beginning.
I did see it.
Their movie.
In their opening montage where they had clips of all the shows. Like there was a shot of JK and the Terror in the Woods, melted marshmallows and all.
But anyways, it was a big honor. I think this is probably the first of many times that we'll go there. We did not win, which is disappointing, but honestly, I was so thrilled to just be nominated. I'm happy that happened.
I agree. And I was more happy and honored when we finally got to the Governor's Ball after party, where I got to stand the fuck up and have some tequila because my corset was about to end my life.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. I made some fatal decisions last night.
Yeah. Going in full drag and full Boulet drag to these events, it's rough. You need a whole day off the next day, I feel like. But anyways, it was a great time. A lot of celebrities were there.
Really fun. Got to bring part of the crew that helps make the show, and they had a great time too. And we saw a lot of our executive friends from Shudder and AMC, and it was just like a really all-around great experience.
It was a great experience, and Alan Cummings won as the best host for the Emmys this year for a reality show. Slightly inspired, I'd like to think, by our hosting, but that's okay.
It is. And I have to say, like, we were obsessed with a capital O over Traitors the second season.
It was so good.
Oh my God. And I cannot wait for the next one.
I love that they put all the housewives in there. I'm like, just make it all housewives. I don't care.
It's so genius. I'm like, damn, why didn't we think of that? Just to mix some of these things in the alchemy. Because alchemy is our specialty, right? Like if we were masters of a magic art, it could be alchemy because we know how to put interesting things together.
That's the truth. That's it. When they announced casting the winner for the best casting or whatever last night, I was like, we should have been up for the best casting because we cast within an inch of our lives.
That is exactly what I said to David. To my left, you're to my right. So I was like, oh God, we should have been up there. I mean, literally, we cast within an inch of our lives.
Well, the network submits you, and they don't want to. Some networks will be like, I don't care, I'm spending the whole bank. I'm gonna put this show up for consideration for like 1,000 things, and hopefully something will stick. AMC was very particular in what they submitted us for, and thank God we got the nomination. So, anyways,
the nominations,
multiple, but again, it was for us personally,
yes,
and for the show. So I thought that was fantastic. All right. Oh, we also have our new single coming out this Friday. Ooh. If any of you haven't seen, we did a little teaser online. We showed the behind the scenes photo shoot that we did for it and played a little 30-second snippet of the song. So that's coming out on Friday. Make sure you go onto Spotify and follow us so that you can be one of the first people to hear the full track when it comes out.
That's right. And in the wise words of Cynthia Dahl, ooh, my moms are the Mariah Careys of Halloween. And I'm just like, get yourself ready, girls, because it really is the soundtrack to the season.
I absolutely love this EP. I do. We keep listening to, both of us are listening to it in our cars. Like, I am in love with it. I hope everybody loves it as much as we do. It's so fun. It's just for people at home that we haven't talked about it yet. This is a classic Halloween album. This is a record that you will put on. Yes, you're going to have to order a weird record player from Amazon, but because we are making records, believe me.
Of course.
Vintage looking cool records. But anyways,
spoiler. On the flip side, they play backwards.
There is a satanic message on the back of the album, but we'll talk more about that later. So this album, it is a classic holiday Halloween album. And it's something that you can put on when you're carving your pumpkins or having a little Halloween house party or whatever. And I can't wait for everybody to listen to it.
Agreed.
Yeah. Follow us on Spotify. What else is going on?
We saw a crazy movie recently, and I think it's worth mentioning because we had to give it 2 passes because the first time I was like, I don't think I can, I'm not into this. And then a lot of people started like tweeting about it, and I saw memes, and then, Drac and I were like, maybe we should give it another shot. And this is the new movie from Lee Daniels called The Deliverance, which is now streaming on Netflix. And we couldn't get through it for the first maybe 5 or 10 minutes, our first attempt. But once we sat down, I was actually kind of impressed of some of the legitimate scares that were in there.
I thought at first it was like a hard times drama movie. I was like, I can't do this. It was like feeling kind of Precious, which is that guy made Precious too. I was like, it's good, but it's like dark. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And I was like, oh, it's dark. Like this is a horror movie, dark, which I did not expect.
No, not at all. Yeah, I felt like it was 2 movies. One where it was about like the struggle of this sort of like interracial family, and then it kind of crossed over and became like a supernatural exorcist terror train.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, Glenn Close, Glenn Close should win an Oscar for that movie.
It was wild.
Because the characterization was just so spot on.
Believable.
Yeah.
Very believable.
Absolutely.
It's an interesting take. I think an interesting addition, to the world of horror. Definitely worth watching.
Monique was good in it. Everyone was fantastic in it, I think.
And on that note, we are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. Welcome back, Uglies. And right now we're going to tackle the exciting news that was just released last week about the Boulet Brothers Dragula premiere date. The poster was out, the image was there, we saw the press release, and it was fabulous. And now we're going to dive into it in case none of you read it.
Well, everyone loved the picture, but I'm like, they didn't read the Variety article.
Exactly.
So now we're going to go over everything to make sure that you heard it.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, you're going to be asking us on social media for the rest of the month. All right,
they're
Ian,
going to do that anyway.
All right, Ian, what did you think? You saw it all come out.
I was gagged.
Yeah.
I was fully gagged. And I just want to know when I can get my Boulet Brothers Dragula Season 666 novelty popcorn bucket.
Oh my God. That's so good.
We need to make a junior men's one. That's what we'll do.
Oh my God.
I'm going to write it down
with
now.
a pentagram on the bottom. Like when you're done with your snacks, you can see it.
Oh my God. Well, only if you can saw a hole in the bottom of mine.
And it says summon a refill.
Oh my God. That's actually really, really cute.
Hold on, Drax typing.
Oh, sorry.
I was writing it down so we can make the popcorn bucket.
I know.
Okay,
That's
so...
funny.
Yeah, so did you like the key art and everything?
I love the key art. I mean, I remember when I got a little sneak peek of the key art before it was released, and I just gotta say, I love the way that this season is shaping up to be themed. I said this to y'all in private, but now that Meet Our Monsters has come out and everyone has seen sort of the way things are shaping up, this sort of like Hollywood glamour meets like classic movie monsters. I mean, it's so ingrained in the history of Dragula. I mean, we love movies. We love horror films. And that's, I think, Dragula in a lot of ways is a love letter to horror. And I just think it's so smart. And I'm so sorry, everyone. Let's talk about you both look so hot and deadly.
My God.
Oh my God.
Do you really think so?
100%. I'm not saying that because there's a knife to my throat and fear of death.
We just get younger and younger every season, and it's not easy.
It's not
very
easy.
painful.
That's
it's very
right.
expensive.
I know. We pay the price, but we get to enjoy the spoils.
They really make it look easy and death becomes her, but
It's hard.
You both know.
It
It's
really
difficult. I swear I can relate to that movie more than so many other movies.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, the key art is just incredible. And I feel like it's one of those things, like the more you look at it, the more you sort of pick up on a couple of things. You're like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay, like season 666, like season of the beast. Like there's just so many little details. Like I don't know other shows that have really done sort of the key art like this. Like, it is the classic bam picture, but it's just so much more.
I feel like we have to change the packaging every year, right? Because I think it's boring if you don't. Like, I can't do the same thing over and over. We did season 4, I felt like it was the epitome of the first wave of Dragula.
Sure.
And then we got to do Titans, which was very different. So it was fun. We had a new set and all that stuff just for that one project. And then we got to go into season 5 where we had a brand new set for the main stage and everything, and a different vibe and a little bit of a format change. And so this time again, I think it's going to be everything that everybody loves, probably more so actually than the last 2 seasons, because it feels a little season 2, I think.
I think it has a little
like
season
elevated.
2 DNA. It has a little season 4 DNA. I mean, it has the slickness of season 5. Yeah.
It feels like if season 2, that tone had progressed with the upgrades that we have
Oh
now.
my God.
That's what it feels like to me. And a lot of that has to do with the competitors, though, the people that we cast on the season, because they turned out to be wild.
No, they're incredible. And just to go back to that treatment of the key art, the cinematic nature of the way that everything is styled really reflects in like the intros and the death scenes too. Like you see that Hollywood kind of approach, or at least I hope you see it, because that's what we were trying to do.
I think you do. I mean, everyone that's seen it so far was like, wow, like these are legitimate horror shorts. And I'm like, okay, we did our job. But that was fun. We usually don't have the budget by the time we get to scripted. You know how it is. Like,
girl.
We're always like, oh my God. Like we, taking everybody to the Rim Fair was cute, but it also ate up a quarter of the budget. So we're never doing that again.
Yep, 100%.
But this year we didn't let that happen.
Okay, so let's talk about the premiere date. We're talking about October 1, the official beginning of the Halloween month. And I thought it was kind of poetic, right? It's kind of nice to like christen that month off with the opening premiere, the supersized 90-minute premiere of season 6 of Dragula.
If you're a fan of Dragula, you are going to be fed on October 1st. I can promise you that. It's an hour and a half of true Dragula magic.
So let's retrace our steps. The steps that we have to retrace year after year.
Oh, no.
After year.
No.
Because the show comes out at midnight on the 1st, which is technically a Tuesday. So if you're on the East Coast, it will be midnight Monday night, Tuesday
September
morning.
30th.
Yes. So it will come out that night at midnight. So for you, it will be technically the 1st. But for people on the West Coast, it's only 9 p.m. the night before.
So, Swanthula, are you telling me that if I was on the East Coast,
Yes.
I would wait up until 11:59 p.m. on Monday night, September 30th, and then when the clock strikes midnight, I would get to see the premiere of the Boulet Brothers Dragula season 6.
Ding, ding, ding. That is correct.
My goodness.
You got it right.
Yes. Which is why we don't put spoilers and things. The social media team does not put any spoilers online, because I try to wait. I say everyone should wait until Wednesday after you can see who was eliminated, and everybody has plenty of time to watch it. But anyways.
And we're going to be doing recaps too on Creatures of the Night, so that we can kind of give you our BTS take on each episode by episode as the season rolls out. So those won't come out until the following night to give everybody a chance to watch the show on Tuesday.
I'm excited because this will be the first time, because Ian has helped us build this show from the ground up and has been there for everything. But this last season you did not work on. And I am so excited to get your raw reaction, because it's almost like you're going to be watching with the fans.
It's
Yeah.
exactly what it's going to be like. Yeah.
I mean, I gotta be real with you. Even just sitting here for this conversation, I am like chomping at the bit. I'm like, oh my God, 90-minute premiere. Oh my God, October 1st, I gotta mark my calendar. Like, I'm a super fan.
It's
Like,
soon.
I cannot wait. I can't wait to experience this alongside the unwashed masses. I'm ecstatic.
Now, are you still interviewing the competitors?
Yes, I am. Those are being scheduled.
Okay, awesome. And so you're going to interview everybody, right? With video.
As far as I have been told and I'm aware, I am going to be meeting the monsters.
I'm so excited about that. That's such a fun way to introduce them to the fans, I think.
Me too.
We'll plant some questions for you.
Oh, thank God.
Let's talk about the stellar lineup of guest judges that we have too, because there are
Yes.
some favorites from seasons past. David Dasmalchin, Tanana Reeve-Dew, and others. But we also have many star-studded additions to the season 6 lineup of guest judges.
Starting with the two I think I'm the most excited about is Don Mancini and Jennifer Tilly.
Absolutely.
Say it again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, like we all got obsessed with Chucky like last year at some point. Fell in love with everything, and just rewatching all of the films and just seeing how iconic and groundbreaking it was for when it was coming
And
out.
queer and strange.
Exactly.
And,
As a queer person, like Don has done incredible things and is such an inspiration. So it was great to have him on. Jennifer Tilly was hilarious.
yeah.
She's great.
Just
and-
such a diva.
Yeah, and she's on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills now, which of course we love.
Oh
And
God,
that's-
that just checks off 2 boxes. That is so, it's just so good.
Oh, that was a really good kiss noise.
you.
Damn.
I'm predicting Sutton Strack, Kyle Richards, and Jennifer Tilly at the Halloween ball this year. I'm just saying.
Ooh, put it out there.
Crystal ball, honey.
I
Yes.
see it. Okay, so who else? We had She-Hulk herself,
Yes.
Tatiana Maslany.
Yes.
Which
Come
I
on,
was
She-Hulk.
so happy.
Yeah,
I
she was
love
so
She-Hulk.
excited. That show was excellent.
I thought
like
so,
the
too.
writing was so smart, and of course, like I don't know, the masses couldn't handle it, and it didn't get another season. Hopefully, it will one day.
I think maybe she'll be in one of the new Avengers movies or something. And that's what I hope, anyways. I think that'd be awesome.
It would be really cool.
Yeah.
Akayla Cooper is on the cast.
So
of
thrilled that
such a
she's
gag.
on.
Judges. Me too. Jamie Clayton, another one who was like it was so thrilling to meet them. Hi, you know I love Hellraiser and always have, and I really respect that remake that Hulu did. So it was just very cool to be sitting right next to her, or having her sit next to me in the judges booth.
And Akayla Cooper is there, which I'm very excited because, you know, she wrote a lot of current iconic horror movies. She wrote The Nun 2. She wrote Malignant.
Megan.
Yeah, tons of stuff. So I feel like it's so cool to have in directors and creators who write and direct all this amazing horror content,
Yeah.
because I feel like they're the best people that can judge. They know how to judge actors. They know how to judge visuals. So I like to put like a director and then an actor or a talent. And I think that's a perfect mix of
Yeah.
judges. Yeah.
And there are some ones that, and I may not be able to get through all of them, but Mike Flanagan is back. Alaska is back. Like it's just so fun.
Yeah, and also your current reigning drag super monster, Neo Hulu X is there. Landon is recurring
Ni
judge
hao.
again. And Landon Sider is a recurring judge again. I love
Yes,
Landon.
me too.
Is this the most stacked guest judge lineup that we've ever had? Like, I think it is. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, and Joe Bob Briggs and Darcy's
Oh
there.
my God, yeah.
Yes.
And they're there for the perfect challenge.
Oh,
I can't
it's so
wait.
good.
Violet Chachki, this is the first time she's judged before, which
Yeah.
she was great.
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah. So anyways, that's the judges. Lots of people. There's a couple of surprises in there that you'll see, but I am thrilled with the judges this year.
Absolutely.
People don't know on season 5, I love the cast of judges we had on season 5, but that was during the strike. We filmed that during the strike and nobody could come to set.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And fans can look forward to more on location challenges. Like we heard the people, we heard your cries, and we have
Yes.
come to the rescue.
we joke about the fans on the podcast, but the truth is we try to give them what they want.
And we always have since season 1.
Absolutely. So I think this year we've done it, the styling, the drama, the, hour and a half first episode. And just so you know, it's not like with Titans. With Titans, we had we had a double episode premiere, but then there were only 8 episodes after that.
Yeah.
This time it's an hour and a half premiere with 9 full 1-hour episodes after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have the full 10 episode meal by the end of this season.
Exactly. We hear when people bitch. We got it.
Oh my God.
Well, you don't want the fans to be pissed, right? You want them to be happy and like it. So, anyways. All right, so now's the moment of truth. Every year we do our Boulet Brothers Dragula casting special where we talk about why we chose the cast members that we did this year. So we're all going to talk. So Ian can tell us his first impressions of them, and then we can tell everybody what caught our eye with each of them individually.
Okay, that sounds great.
So let's start in alphabetical order with Asia Consent. So Ian, what's your initial impression based off the Meet Our Monster stuff?
Okay, I just want to say first and foremost, I love the layout of the Meet Our Monsters character cards. They just look great. I love this. But focusing on our first Monstar, I think that Asia looks fierce. I mean, the one thing that I also know is that Asia had a little bit of a drama a couple of years ago. Asia caused quite a stir on a certain online platform. And I gotta be real, I love a stunt queen. I love a stunt queen. She's doing like this sort of neck paint that we've seen, and we haven't seen this in a while. And I don't know. I mean, this is a strong look. Like, this bitch can paint, and this is a wig, honey.
Here's the thing. From what I understand, Asia has tried out many years in a row. And I think we've said this before on the podcast. Like, sometimes people try out and then they don't get cast and they get disenchanted and they give up and they don't, and I understand that. But she's an example of someone who stayed the course and is happy now that this is when they got on.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
Because they're more fully themselves and it's sitting in their power. They will do better now potentially than they would have a season or two ago.
It's wonderful to see someone realize that too, like knowing like how bad she might have wanted it 3 years ago and didn't get it. And at the time it was probably like, oh God, why? I'm trying so hard. But now you look back and you're like, oh, I didn't want that version of me. I wanted this version of me. And she really showed up. And I do remember that stunt very well, but I didn't judge her on it. I didn't judge her about it. Drac did. Yes, exactly.
I did based off of what someone who worked in production told me.
Oh.
That is the truth.
No, that is the truth.
That's the truth.
But
and I thought she was a completely different person than what she actually is.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny how that happens?
Yeah. Especially considering the person was the person who actually had a completely different person.
Listen, that's why you got to follow my rules of life. You can't listen to a goddamn word anyone says about anything or anyone else until you experience it yourself.
Exactly.
That's how I live my life.
I feel like when people talk shit about other people, I'm like, you're just projecting your own issues out into the world.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
why would you have such a problem with it? It's weird.
Totally.
So, yeah, anyway.
Yeah, so Asia's audition for this season was perfect because she's glam. She's a little messy. She's a lot fun. Like we just loved everything that we saw. And the drag is interesting. This isn't a mug that I've seen a million times, and it's very her own. So I'm excited to see what she does this year.
Yeah. And next up we have Aurora Gosmick from Chicago.
Ooh, we love a Chicago queen in this house.
I want to say one of our 3 competitors from Chicago, but it's only 2 from Chicago and 1 in a town close by.
Rockford, Illinois. That's right.
So, Chicago.
I mean, that's what we thought too, but they were very adamant about saying no.
Well, if you're not a Midwest queen, then you wouldn't know the difference.
Right.
But everybody else is kind of like, oh, Chicago.
We're like middle north, okay?
What? I mean, what? It's like you could think that, Blackberry's from, Austin or Houston or, oh, well, maybe not.
Okay, so
Aurora, what are your thoughts, Ian?
Okay, so this drag artist, I don't know a lot about them, but I'm looking at this outfit and I feel like this can go one of two ways because it take a lot of courage to wear something that is, and I mean this in a good way, simple. This is a simple outfit. I like the way it's constructed and the way that they are edited in the Meet Our Monsters trailer. I'm like, okay, bitch. Okay, bitch. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Because can she not move? Is she like super deadly? Like, what am I gonna see here? I am not gonna count Aurora out. I just want to see more.
Yeah.
So you've seen the Meet Our Monsters trailer, but the audience will not have seen it until in a couple of hours.
Oh my God. Sorry, everyone. Sneak peek. Ooh, perks at the job.
Well, a little tidbit, that outfit is simple, but it's bold, and there's a tearaway in there. The train comes off, and it's really slutty.
Oh,
and I love
gag,
it. Yeah,
gag,
I love
gag.
it. She's like super glam, done to the nines. We haven't had many artists on the show that I would characterize as glamour, and Aurora is definitely one of them.
Deadly
You
glamour.
can see that. I mean, from a mile away. I mean, this is giving glamour, honey.
I love Aurora's look. Like, her look is so striking. It caught my eye immediately. When I saw her materials, I was like, I love this person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think she brings a really catty energy. I'll say, I don't want to say too much because you wouldn't know it from looking at the Meet Our Monsters, but she'll get you.
Okay, now hold on. I love
This kitty has
You know what?
claws.
The girls from Chicago
vicious bitch. Yes!
The girls from Chicago are, and she does not play. Yeah.
Yeah. And the girls from Chicago are not afraid
To talk, to
tear
speak
into
up.
each
That's
other.
right.
That's
Chicago
for sure.
drag is intense.
No,
Yeah,
and it's
for sure.
great. It's
I love it.
really great.
And next up we have Anti-Heroine.
This is the queen we were talking about from Rockford, Illinois, but oftentimes she gets grouped with Chicago.
Got it. Okay, so I have a couple of things I want to say right off the bat. I love this name. I love a name like this. Like, I love drag.
I love that you appreciate that because it's super campy. You love a big ass wig. You like a fun name. Like, I love it.
Thank you. And I do. Like, I love like capital D drag. And the thing that I want to hone in on, this mug, I'm like, maybe a little chapstick, maybe next time, like maybe a little makeup onto. Like, no, like this is like a metric fuck ton of makeup, and I live for a queen who just is plastered with makeup. I love it.
Anti-heroine is someone who knows exactly who they are.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
I've seen this mug. It's so stamped. I'm like, oh my God, painted within an inch of your life. And it is skills. It just looks incredible.
It's clean.
Yes.
She knows how to do a very clean line, which I appreciate. And yeah, she is very solid in who she is. I think obviously everyone's going to see that once the first episode comes out. But I'm excited by her because we don't have a lot of characters. We have not had a lot of characters like her on the show before with that kind of personality, I don't think.
Yeah, she's like kind of like a community leader, I'd say, in her city, and very well established for herself. Super alternative, out of drag. You'll see like stretched ears and tons of tattoos, and then this character that's just so realized. Very interesting.
Yeah, and her personality, I have to say, we'll see what we'll see how it resonates. 'Cause I love it because I think she's very direct. But that's the type of girl that I like. Like Melissa, I love.
Totally,
Kendra, I love because
There's a difference. Like, I love Melissa and Kendra too, but there's some shit that Auntie pulls where I'm like, you didn't need to say it like that.
Oh my God,
You didn't need to say it like that.
But you love that she did.
I do. I mean, I love Auntie. I actually was like in her.
You were.
No,
yeah.
I was cheering Auntie on in the casting process. I wanted her on the show.
At some point during the casting process, and you know this, Ian, we each, the two of us, have narrowed down with the producers our own supervillain team, and they fight, and then we have to decide. And Auntie was on your squad.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
I love all of the little like read between the lines of all of this. Like, I mean, we're only 3 cast members in, and I am like, oh my God, this cast is so fucking good.
It gets better. So Desiree Dick is next, who is from Washington, D.C. Desiree, I think, tried out a few times as well. And this year is her year.
Congratulations to Desiree. I definitely know that name, and I believe that we have met a couple of times on tour. Okay, so let's go into this look. I feel like there's a lot happening here. There is a lot happening. I mean, we've got gore, we've got mirrors, we've got a jacked up grill, and if I do love a jacked up grill, I will say. The thing about Desiree that I'm excited for is because personally, I've never known them to be like an artist who's really focused on looks. I know them as Filth. I know them as sort of bombastic and crazy. And I think that's actually one of my favorite things about Meet Our Monsters is you get a peek into who these people are visually, but the thing about the Boulet Brothers Dragula is it will always surprise you. So I'm into this, but I do want to be surprised.
Well, I was surprised because Desiree, when you look at her material, she was a little more serious, I feel like. But meeting her, she's a lot of fun. She is wild. She's there for a good time. She's a super fan of the show.
She also brings a huge dose of that Latina fire because the personality is fiery. The drag is fun. It's filthy. There's a lot of F's here. I was very happy because we have met Desiree a few times on tour. someone who obviously knows Dragula, the Dragula world, and everything that goes with it. So I think she brought a full set of skills to come to this season.
All right, let's move on next to Gray Matter. Gray Matter is from Houston, Texas. Now, that's the second year in a row we've had a Houston, Texas queen on.
H-Town represent.
What's your first impression of Gray?
Gag. I love this. I love this look. I love a weirdo freakazoid. Just, I mean, the materials I'm looking at. I mean, I also want to say this. Like, I am definitely not going to play favorites. I want to be objective. I want to be surprised. But when I see things like this, like Gray Matter, I'm looking at an artist who this is a creature out of their own design, 100% original. I mean, we see things that maybe, you know, influenced by other things in the past, but the weird elongated fingernails and the appliques and these eyes, I'm like, this is a fucking nightmare. Love it.
I think that Gray's look is intense. It is intense and it's impressive. And interestingly, and you'll learn this when you're watching the show a little bit more about them, they come from a haunt background.
Oh,
so they're very
cool.
steeped in the haunt world and the haunter world, which I love. I love bringing those kind of artists to the show.
And all of the sneaky skills that go with that.
Exactly. It's very different.
Cool.
It's drag. It's like drag adjacent, but different. And you have extra tricks when you work in haunted houses, I think.
Like a little stepsister of our world where we created this menagerie of like drag and glamour and death and beauty and all that.
That's still my favorite things to do is to go host a night and do like meet and greets and stuff at a haunted house or a haunt attraction.
yeah.
That's my favorite thing to do over a club any day of the week.
When I saw Gray Matter's submission, I saw a lot of consistency. And it wasn't like I was seeing the same thing over and over, but I saw consistently what they're capable of. And there's a specific thing that Gray Matter does in every single look. And you're like, really?
Ooh.
In every look? And it goes right with their name. It's very clever. But obviously, with a mug like this and a background in haunted houses, like Gray Matter was a shoo-in for this season.
Yeah.
So next up, we have Jaharia.
Jaharia. What do you think, Ian?
The first thing that I'm looking at is this nicey cutie mug. This is, I'm like, okay, I would go shopping with Jaharia. I would like go to the store, like in this look, but I feel like a mug like this, I'm like, wait a minute. Are you like secret? Like, are you like crazy? Because then I look at this outfit and it is bizarro world. I love these like the spikes and the textures on this. It's a little strange, but I feel like this comes from someone who's like, I know what my drag is. Like, I'm going to wear this look, and this is what I'm doing.
Your instincts are correct.
Ooh, okay,
Yeah.
get it, girl.
They really are.
So what attracted me to Jaharia was she has a huge personality. She knows how to move. And you'll see that, you know, after the first episode, like she knows how to move. She is an incredible dancer. Her looks and her package that she submitted were fantastic as well. She had a lot of star power.
Absolutely. This is someone who knows what it's like to be on camera. They know how to move. They know how to shine. The mug is painted. You're not sure what you're going to get, and that's why it's exciting.
Let's move on to Majesty, which I guess you don't have to give.
Ooh, here we go.
Yeah, so I know everyone's asking, like, why is Majesty on the new season and not on a Titan season? And I don't want to talk about it too much because it is something that comes up immediately and everyone will see what it's about, and I don't want to talk too much about it.
Okay, that's fair.
As far as why are we excited or why did we cast them? Did you watch season 2? Like,
Yes.
the looks were incredible. The personality
was incredible.
amazing. Iconic. I have to tell you, when we were auditioning for Titans, the number one person that everybody said they were afraid of was James.
That's true.
Who is now Majesty, but at the
Yes.
time was James Majesty.
Right.
Yeah, and they were terrified. They were like, oh my God, I was so afraid I was going to walk in and James was going to be there and he was going to roast me.
Look, I think fans of the show know what to expect from Majesty. They know why Majesty was cast. Majesty is great television, and of course we had to like give them a spot on this season.
We'll explain it later, talk more about it in the future.
So let's move on to Pennsylvania's Pie.
Oh my God, what a weirdo. What a strange look. I mean, I don't even know what I am looking that, but I'm into it. This is a freaky clown. I am not 100% sure about this bloody disco ball purse, but you know what? Listen, I want to have my phone on set too. I get it. I totally get it. I'm not sure what to expect out of this. I mean, this is a creature, honey. I mean, I do like a structural headpiece, though. I do like that.
Well, if you like structure, Pi has like skills, and I think Pi has a reputation in the drag world as someone who can really craft and create pieces and looks, and has done so for drag queens on other shows, and really has a history of building the fashion of what you see. And you see this amazing headpiece. It's not the only one that we saw in the audition package. And it was just like, this person is bringing a new skill set, and like, look at this crazy face and the name. You're like, this is like such a weirdo curveball of I don't know what. And yeah,
it's a perfect type of person to cast because their perspective is so unexpected, but so tight at the same time in their own unique way. So because I feel like Pi is kind of bizarre, right? It's almost like Club Kid meets drag. Another thing that's interesting about her is her style. She's very filth oriented, which I love. Very filthy, wild queen.
Yes, wild and fun.
And I do have to say, anyone who frames the logo correctly with their headpiece is a winner in my book.
You know that I love that.
Oh, yeah. I know. Oh, my gosh. I bet you are so thrilled with that.
Yes, she was. Let's move on to our next Monstar. She also comes from Chicago. This is Scylla.
Okay, looking at Scylla's photo, like there's one thing that I love, and it's when an artist shows up for Meet Our Monsters in something that is a completely opposite color palette than we've ever seen. Like, it's a really bold choice. I love it. I mean, I am definitely like into this sort of Ursula moment. I feel like this is someone who the name is giving, and I'm like, I want you to live up to this name. Like, I love like Greek mythology. Like, there's so much that it evokes. I'm like, okay, Scylla, like, let's bring it, let's go. I cannot wait to see.
The thing that attracted me to Scylla was it almost felt like from the same, she almost feels like she's from the same world that Abora came from.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, like the look and it just the energy. I'm like, okay, this is like a creature, like the nose and everything.
Yeah, and she's not scared to be ugly and high. I think everybody knows that in Dragula world, that is absolutely a strength.
Yeah, I feel like she's a little bit of a younger queen, but I think that's exciting.
Yeah, raw, artistic, experimental. Like this is a lot. These are a lot of the words that I would use after watching the audition tape, and that's why she made it on the cast.
Don't forget, Neo, when we cast Neo, had barely performed before and was very new, and look how well they did. So, yeah.
Next up, we have Boston's own Severity Stone.
Yes, Severity.
Someone who we've crossed paths with so many times.
I'm so happy that Severity is on this season of the show because I feel like Severity is authentically into the goth and punk scene.
100%.
Like, she really listens to the music. She knows the references. She gets the horror movies. All that stuff. She lives and breathes in this world.
100% agree.
Yeah, and I think she's auditioned a few times before, right?
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think also coming from Boston, like the other, we had Violencia from Boston, and then Throb was close-ish, but yeah, it's our second Boston queen.
So when I look at Severity's photo, the first thing that I see is this is a wig. And I mean, we all know here on Creatures of the Night, like, I live for a drag wig. I also love that this wig is a very on the nose, like, black hairstyle. Like, it's very cool to see. The one thing that I'm interested about with Severity and then Scylla and also with Auntie Heroine is I feel like we've gotten a couple of different things here. Like, Auntie Heroine is very known in their community, very much a community leader. Scylla is maybe very, very new. And I know that Severity is a huge staple. I mean, like one of, I think, Boston's sort of like favored queens. And so it'll be interesting to see how that plays in with the show itself. Like, I feel like, oh, like,
yes, it will.
like, I mean, give it up, divas. Y'all did it again. Like, I don't know everything about the drag world. I'm not online like that, but just to see sort of the different entering power levels sort of in their own communities.
Sure.
Like, this is a very fun landscape
To
be
me,
built.
that's
Yeah.
what's interesting is mixing it up. I like
Absolutely.
brand new young baby queens. I find that pejorative, but still. And
Do you
then
love
have
your leg?
real legendary,
and then
like across the board and everybody in between.
The Methuselahs of drag.
Exactly. I want a Methuselah of drag.
Yes.
I do.
If you're out there, we're gonna cast you. Just
They're like,
put that tape in.
I ain't
come
got that
on.
kind of stamina. They're like, no, I'm good.
They're like, how long are filming days?
They're like,
Wait a
I've gotten to the
minute.
point in drag where I'm wearing a house dress, and that's not going to change.
And I'm like, don't change. Don't
good.
change at all.
Don't change a
Throw a little
damn
blood
thing.
on it.
Yeah. Next up, we have from San Diego, Vivi the Force.
Vivi the Force. Okay, wait, what's your first impression of Vivi?
Well, by name alone, like, I am aware of Vivi the Force. You know, we have been working together in Los Angeles for almost a decade, which is crazy to me. And so Vivi the Force's name has sort of come up. I believe that they have either competed in or won the Dragula pageant before, right?
Very
So-
cool story. Very
Oh,
fun.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, should we tell it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we used to do Dragula as a party in a bunch of different cities, and we did it in San Francisco, I think for like 2 years every month. It was a monthly. And so one of the years we went up there and we did its Christmas massacre, like a Silent Night, Deadly Night theme. And Vivi entered the pageant. And I remember her like it was yesterday
Me
because she
too.
came because they had to line up in the bathroom. That's where they waited before they got caught out on
Yes.
stage.
Oh my God.
It was at the Eagle. We wanted it to be at like a crazy like
Yeah.
leather place. And of course it's small and can't accommodate anything. So they were like lined up in the bathroom. And so when Vivi came out, she was like, what do I do to stand out? She grabbed all the toilet paper in the room and threw it out into the crowd, made a
Yes.
huge mess. And then what'd she do next?
What?
You don't remember?
I don't.
Oh.
No.
She needed the toilet paper. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I probably wiped that one from my mind.
So anyways, Vivi left quite an impression.
Wow.
Yeah. Here's a little BTS story. When I was back there with them in the bathroom, like, okay, we're corralling the girls and getting them ready to come out on the stage. Vivi's like, Swan, like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm like, don't be nervous. Like, look, just do something to stand out. You're in the bathroom. Figure it out.
You're in the
think she
bathroom.
did.
Oh my God.
So yeah, Vivi is really interesting. Again, very punk, real punk energy.
Real punk, yeah.
Yeah. And I think I don't know, I don't want to talk too much about it, but she definitely had a wild past, I'll say. She was very young when she came, and she was probably, I don't know, underage and snuck in or something at the time. But she's had like a very interesting
Evolution.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Ian, what were your thoughts on Vivi's look?
Yeah, so I'm looking at this, and there are a lot of things that I like. There are a couple of, if I had to like really nitpick, but I'm not going to, I'm just gonna like keep it cute. Like, there's a lot of stuff I like, but what I really like about this is you can kind of tell sometimes, I think, when people come onto the show and they are hungry for blood. I feel like there's a little bit of that energy with like JK's photo. And when I look at this mug and I look at the way that she's posing her
This
face,
bitch is gonna rip your face off.
absolutely. I'm like, ooh, never mind. I'm so sorry. You can have whatever it is that you want, honey. Like, take my wallet, take my purse.
Totally. Like, Drac hit all the marks. Goth, dark. We see like demonic glam in this look. Vivi has been a part of the scene, I think, genuinely for years, and there's an
Absolutely.
evolution there. It's very exciting to see.
I agree. All right, let's move on to our final contestant of the season, Yuri.
Oh.
Formerly known as Yuri Guai, but now just Yuri.
Just Yuri.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Yuri's look?
I have known Yuri Guai, now Yuri, for years and years and years. I have chatted with them on Instagram, and just I've been a fan of theirs for a minute, but I'm going to put that all to the side. I'm going to say why I was a fan. This mug, be stamped. This mug is unbelievable. I think she looks super hot. I do think that the look, again, is a little simple, but the more I look at it, I feel like there is something fun about the deconstructed nature of it. Like, I'm a metaphors and meanings and mysticism kind of queen sometimes. Like, Swan, I think that's like where our brains like come together. And I'm like, from another drag show to this drag show wearing deconstructed fabrics and, you know, this one bloody eye. I'm like, what are you trying to tell me here, Yuri? Tell me your secrets.
Well, I'll tell you something that is not a secret. Actually, I'll tell you something that is a secret, which is Yuri was being considered for this show before they appeared on the other show long ago. And we've known Yuri and been familiar with Yuri's face since before all that was going on.
And let's be honest, so has so many other people who are into the
Absolutely.
drag scene or drag artists themselves. Like, Yuri's face is like, I mean, I'm not going to use the word legendary, but you could, because back in the day in the rise of like drag getting as popular as
Like
it
2018-ish,
has.
that mug was everywhere.
This face was incredible.
I credit her with creating that sort of overdrawn lip that comes out in the corner. It was a really unique lip that gives you a little bit of a lip lift.
And it trended for a while.
It trended for a while. A lot of people, you could tell, were looking at her pictures in the harsh cut crease that she does. That comes right down to a point where the lips are. I mean, that she has such a stampable, remarkable face. She's a fantastic makeup artist. I'm really happy that she's on this season.
Me too. And I think just to add to that happiness, I know as an insider that their experience on the other show wasn't something that they felt good about or felt like really represented who they are. And I do think that her excitement about being on this show, she has a chance to show us who they are.
Yuri belongs on Dragula. Like
Hell yeah.
100%. She belongs here way more than she belonged on the other show. That's the truth. I have one more thing to add. Now that we've been through the entire cast, I know it's going to fall on deaf ears, but I have to say it. On deaf ears.
Come on, deaf ears.
But I have to say it. Please, 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 please do not attack these artists online this year. Please don't do it. Certain parts of the fan base can be very toxic. Remember that these are people. They are artists. They're coming on this show to entertain you and to be wild. You want them to be wild, right? You want them to fight and be wild and show you their art and cry and grow and be happy. That's why you watch the show. So please do not attack them or try to destroy their lives or whatever. Everybody that's on the cast deserves to be here and all have very interesting stories. So just be gentle. And I say this being a fan of other reality shows. It's the same thing with like Drag Race's fan base or the Real Housewives. The fans nowadays, it's very toxic. They decide they don't like you or they do, and you either can do no wrong and you get away with everything, or hypocritically, the other person, they can't do anything right no matter what. So let's not do that this year. It's not that kind of show. But anyways, that's it. Be excited for these queens. Go follow them online and just get ready because the Boulet Brothers Dragula season 666 premieres on October 1st. And I cannot wait for you all to see it. If you have any listener questions for us about anything that we're doing, any of our projects, or about the upcoming Boulet Brothers Dragula season 666, please email us at creatures@bouletbrothersdragula.com. Also, remember to rate, subscribe, and review wherever you listen to the podcast. And finally, make sure that you go on to Spotify and follow us so that when our single drops on Friday, you'll be the first one to hear it. Oh, and follow Ian on Twitch if you're into games at Devogler. That's DEVOGLAER.
With music by Neuron Spectre.